his lifelong job, his potentially cheating wife, his outcast brother, and being schooled by the millennial girl next door. Tickets start at just $20. Visit bartertheater.com today.
Hey, you want that car in front of you, don't you? Or what about that one over there? That, my friend, is car envy. And all you need to do is say, "Show me the Carfax." And you can find great deals at Carfax.com, because now you can search millions of used car listings anytime, anywhere. Plus, get a free Carfax report with every search. Don't miss out on your deal. Start your used car search now at Carfax.com.
Shaquille O'Neal here. If you battle back or hip pain or knee or shoulder pain, you don't have to tough it up.
Hey, Ed.
You can just turn it off with Smart Relief from Icy Hot. You just push a button and whoosh. Smart Relief sends waves of relaxing pulses that safely block pain at the nerve level. It's simple, easy to use, and it's been clinically tested to start providing immediate relief for hours, even after you turn it off. So if you're battling pain, let Icy Hot help you win that battle. Turn on Smart Relief and turn off pain.
Use only as directed.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've messed up your daughter's haircut. Do you A, get spiritual?
Mom, where's the mirror?
Beauty is within. Oh.
B, find the positives?
Less time blow drying, more time texting?
Or C, show empathy?
Mom, you really don't have to.
Twinsies!
I kinda love it. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Here's a sports flash from 1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities, powered by Jeep. The Tennessee ETSU football game in Knoxville coming up on September 8th. It now has a kickoff time. That would be 4 o'clock. Tennessee Athletics has also announced that their game against UTEP on September 15th is going to start at 12 noon. Appalachian State has announced some kickoff times as well. Their game at Penn State is going to kick off at 3:30. That's their season opener. Their home opener against Southern Miss is also going to kick off at 3:30. They have a couple night games that have start times. Tuesday, October 9th at Arkansas State is going to start at 8 o'clock. Thursday, October 25th against Georgia Southern will start at 7:30. And Virginia Tech football, their game at Old Dominion on September 22nd will kick off at 3:30. With a sports flash powered by Jeep on 1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities, I'm Matt Pauley.
Mox of Jonesboro, come in and browse a fine selection of accessories, including Willow Tree, Vera Bradley, Byers, Choice Carolers, and while you are there, try out the most comfortable chairs in the world, Tempur-Pedic and Stressless by Equines. Simply the best comfort available. Mox is located on 101 West Main Street in Jonesboro since 1891. Mox of Jonesboro.
Whatever you drive a Firestone. Head in through July 9th and get $60
Way to go, Ed.
Firestone Visa prepaid card when you buy a set of 4 eligible tires. Plus, use your new or existing CFNA credit card and get up to $100.
Available at Garland Tire, 1212 North Main Avenue in Irving.
Claim form required. See your participating Firestone retailer or FirestoneTire.com for details. Only 2 claims per household. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Subject to credit approval. Prepaid card issued by the Bancorp Bank member FDIC and can be used everywhere Visa debit cards are accepted. The Bancorp Bank is not affiliated with CFNA.
WEMB Irwin, 1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
The day after in Oakland, I'm Jeff Biggs, and everybody's still talking about the unbelievable finish last night in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Cavs couldn't close it out in regulation. That allowed the Warriors to pull it out in overtime. Also, the greatest playoff game ever for LeBron James, 51 points.
I just try to do whatever it takes to help our team win and try to be a triple threat out on the floor offensively, being able to score, rebound, and get my guys involved. So I just try to do that tonight.
Well, LeBron is also human, as he showed when he abruptly walked out of his post-game press conference after repeated questions about the late mental lapse by teammate J.R. Smith.
We got to move on. I mean, this game is over and done with. We had our opportunities, I would never give up on JR. It's not my MO. I don't give up on any of my players. So any of my team.
Hi, Coach Sherrill. I'll be talking to Steve Spurrier here in about an hour on the 1420 page.
As for Draymond Green and the Warriors, up 1-0.
Sometimes you need a little luck. It's, good to be lucky sometimes. So I'll take it. I think, when he got the rebound, he probably could have laid it up. But nonetheless, that's a part of the game. Being locked in, and you got to know the score. That's just kind of basketball. Like, you got to know if you're winning or losing or tie. So sometimes it's good to be a little lucky.
And I really need to give you a call, Chad.
Today, with 2 days off until game 2.
Mr. Sherrill, about the stem cells. I really do. My mom could use some information on that.
The Caps and the Golden Knights all tied up with 1 win apiece. Golf right now, second round.
To tell you the truth, I want to ask you why Texas and Texas A&M can get back to play each other, but Pitt and Penn State is going to dissolve.
I'm Jeff Biggs, NBC Sports Radio.
Well, I'm in the radio studio, but you know what? We're not broadcasting on the radio, but we are broadcasting on Facebook. And so this entire show will be archived. And that's why we started a little bit early, so that you could hear the advertisements. And, well, you know who I am. Marky Billson, your voice of choice for a new generation of Tri-Cities sports fans. Name of the program is Tri-Cities Sports Now, and we ask you to patronize our sponsors, Tennessee, and we're going to have Crabtree Buick coming up here for those listeners in Bristol. They've had the baseball playoffs up in Southwest Virginia here that I ought to be able to tell you. But today is a huge show. When I say that I tell you, I mean tell you about. And I want to go into this. This is a huge show today. And I say that because we've got 2 great guests. First, it's our most common guest, Jerry Bonkowski, talking a little bit about NASCAR today. But then at 1 o'clock, I will be talking to Steve Spurrier. And we'll be doing that show. We'll be broadcasting that at 1 o'clock on the 1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities page. He's got a reunion. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but yes, Heisman winner Steve Spurrier, his favorite or his most cherished memory of his high school athletic career was not playing quarterback for the Science Hill Hilltoppers or becoming the first person that anybody in Johnson City the first person that anyone in Johnson City ever saw dribble behind his back. Supposedly that Spurrier was the first basketball player who could dribble behind his back. Anyone saw? I'm a bit debatable, but because Hal Greer played here before Steve Spurrier moved here, and the New York Celtics were here in 1941. Yeah, the New York Celtics. That was the derivative of the original Celtics. Not the Boston Celtics, but if you want to know history of basketball, look that up. Original Celtics. Trust me, that's a big time. They're in the Basketball Hall of Fame. But anyway, we're going to be talking to Steve Spurrier here on Facebook, and we'll archive it so you can watch it whenever on the 1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities Facebook page. I'm excited about that, as well as Jerry Bonkowski. The race moves to Pocono. Silly season. Talk about it being mid-season. It still seems a little early. Mid-season. I know it began in February. It'll end in November. It was June. Still seems like, okay, I know where they're going with this, but still seems just a little bit more, just a little shy of that mid-season. Anyway, a lot to talk about today. As always, a lot of Tennessee Volunteers news. You just heard it on our sports update, unless I was talking over it. But the Tennessee Volunteers, the first victory of the Jeremy Pruitt era, will likely come. Bad news for people in Johnson City against ETSU. Well, let's face facts. Will Greer in Charlotte is going to light up the Vols. That'll be Pruitt's first game. And then it'll be 85 scholarships against 63 scholarships. Yeah, Tennessee's down. So is ETSU. Battle of 4. victory teams, advantage goes to the Southeastern Conference member over the Southern Conference member. Love the Southern Conference, think it's a great brand of football. We just can't call it, 22 scholarships last summer. I'm not breaking any news here, right? But that game will be on at 4 p.m. on September 8th. They set a lot of the schedule. It'll be September 1, the Vols will open up with West Virginia. It'll be a CBS game. That's at 3:30. 4 o'clock game, that's more the SEC network. ETSU and UT on September 8th. Then September 15th, the mighty UTEP Miners. Possibly one of the two worst college football programs for the upcoming season. They come into Knoxville, and that'll be a noon start. A little surprised they're doing it, the Saturday afternoon like that, But we know that right away, so that's the other news. There's also a couple of other news. Benchwarmer Zach Kent, he's a center for the Tennessee Volunteers. 6'10", he gets his red shirt. So he only played 2 games last year, early season. He gets a red shirt. Okay, so another 6'10" center project and all that. There's also another center by the name of DJ Burns out of South Carolina. And today he supposedly makes his decision whether he's going to play for Rick Barnes at Tennessee or Frank Martin at South Carolina for his college basketball career. All right, so that's the decision he's supposed to make today. So Vols will get one center for another year, and they might get another center for 4 years on the court, not the field. I want to talk about the field. Jeremy Pruitt was in the area last week in Kingsport, Vol Caravan. He was in Greenville just yesterday for speaking at a church. It's very Tennessee, isn't it? But Grant Ramey had a story today about the no eggshells policy University of Tennessee Athletic Director Phil Fulmer and his chosen head football coach Jeremy Pruitt have. And what no eggshells means is, well, maybe I just ought to read for you this quote. Pruitt can say anything that he needs to say, and he has, as to what he wants and needs. We agreed it would be silly to not use some of my expertise and experience along the way. So if I see something on the practice field, I'll make a note, and we'll talk about it eventually. And he'll do the same with me, that I can get better with. I kind of think that that's going to be a one-way street. I mean, Jeremy Pruitt telling Phil Fulmer how to be an athletic director, I don't, not much, Mr. Fulmer, you need to tie your shoe. I mean, other than that, really, what is going to... Anyway, general perception in the media, this is a good thing. Why wouldn't Pruitt wish to learn from a man who won a national championship? But it also really does make Pruitt out to be almost some sort of puppet. First he took orders from Nick Saban. Now he's the head coach, and he'll take them from Phil Fulmer. After Fulmer replaced John Currie as the Vols athletic director, the focus of the football coaching search turned from head coaches to coordinators. The implication is a coordinator would be more likely to take orders from the former coach of the program than a current head coach, a Jeff Brom from Purdue, or, certainly Mike Leach from Washington State, or, by the way, Leach is, one of his assistants is actually Steve Spurrier Jr. Who else? Mike Gundy. I mean, I kind of have a tough time thinking that Mike Gundy would be at the beck and call of another football coach turned AD. I really do, So, like I said, I think that one of the reasons that when Fulmer became the AD, all the head coaches, the search went from head coaches to coordinators. Les Miles was still talked about, but he's more in that mix. The guys, he's not going to want to take orders. I won a national championship more recently than you, Mr. Fulmer. Please, let me run this program. And I get that sense that wasn't going to fly with Fulmer. So while every coach takes orders from his athletic director, I mean, we know that, how many of them coach with the knowledge the athletic director may be coming to practice at any time to critique you? And so, well, don't they... I've been to these, college football practices. Generally speaking, no. The athletic director is out there trying to do front office stuff, if you will, administrative stuff. He's not looking at, oh, look, over on field 4, the third string tackle. Boy, he could change his stance. No, they're not looking at that. Trust me. The only real reason, then, that having Fulmer offer his critiques is that would be desirable to somebody who hasn't been a head coach before. And that's Jeremy Pruitt. I mean, try to tell that to a Les Miles or somebody like that, they're going to say, look, I've done this more recently than you have, okay? Now, John Majors, formerly known as Johnny, but yeah, John Majors and Fulmer will always be rivals. You can say they're both VFLs, but they'll always be rivals, and you know why. Depending on your point of view, Fulmer either manipulated boosters while Majors underwent heart surgery during the 1992 season to become the Vols head coach, or Majors wore out his welcome with the boosters once he returned to the job that season. That's the way it's come down. The Majors fans believe this, the Fulmer fans believe that. Okay. But it should be noted when Majors' former Tennessee offensive coordinator, Walt Harris, replaced Majors as the University of Pittsburgh's coach in 1997, he did not make himself exceptionally visible to the football program, despite the fact he was still employed by the university in a fundraising and ambassador position. I was covering Pitt at the time. I remember seeing, hey, why don't you come over to practice? Here, I'm a Tennessee, Pittsburgh guy, just like you, and all this. He said, I've been to one. For like 7 years he had been to one, just to say hello, really. That was it, And that was even though, 1997 Majors had recruited all the players on the team except for the freshman class, but he still stayed away. Even when Harris benched the running back, Billy West, that Majors had recruited, and West had previously been named Offensive Player of the Year in the Big East Conference. Remember that conference when it played football? And he didn't interfere. Even though, like Fulmer at Tennessee, Majors had won the national championship at Pitt 20 years before. So he had the same legend status. No. Gonna let Harris coach. Even when Walt Harris consistently quoted Majors in press conferences and praised the talent he had returning from the Majors era. Now, hey, gotta let my former protege coach, there was not any hanging at practice from Harris's former boss. So the implication there was clear. It's time for my protege to coach, and he needs some freedom to succeed. By the way, both Harris and Pruitt, both extremely soft-spoken individuals. Now, when Majors stayed away from Walt Harris, the result was a Liberty Bowl berth after a 4-victory season, the latter of which Tennessee is coming off now. As I said, Pruitt is exceptionally soft-spoken. He did, however, from what I was reading on the internet, his appearance in Greenville yesterday was actually met with a lot, boy, I'm impressed with this person. Of course, how can I explain this to you? Soft-spoken, very country, that's going to play well at a Greenville, Tennessee church. Mike Leach is not necessarily going to play as well. Might be looked upon as a little too brash or something, This is the guy, Mike Leach, very famously once read a book by Donald Trump on a flight to New York City, went up to Trump Tower, and asked to meet Donald Trump so he could talk to him about, hey, I'm the football coach at Texas Tech. That's where Leach was at the time. And he actually got through to the office like on a speakerphone, and the now president said something along the lines of, well, I'm kind of busy right now, but let's do this. Yeah, I'll meet the head football coach at Texas Tech. Sure. You like my book? I mean, yeah, why wouldn't I make this contact? And they've been friends since then. As a matter of fact, Leach and all that. And I mean, you want to talk about East Tennessee and, the political leanings, that would really endear if it was Leach and not Pruitt, who eventually did become the Vols coach, and it very well could have been that. You can see where, he would have had his fans for that. But as I said, Pruitt is going to make positive impact. Oh, isn't he a gentleman at the church in Greenville? Leach might ruffle a few feathers. Why is he talking about pirates? Is that in the Bible somewhere? And so from that standpoint, the thing though is, what about when it's time for the kickoff? Then you have a circumstance right there, right, where, well, do you want soft-spoken coach or do you want the mind of Leach? That's the thing right there, right? Okay. But like I said, the implication for Majors was it's time for my protege to coach, and he needs freedom to succeed. And what did John Majors give, therefore, to Walt Harris? The ability to turn a 4-victory team into a team that would go to the Liberty Bowl. All right. So, how many games did Tennessee win last year? 4. And you ought to be ecstatic with the Liberty Bowl berth if that's what the Vols can do. Because this is a rebuilding project. Now, during the Vol Caravan, Fulmer was quoted far more than Pruitt, and I even remember remarking it would not surprise me if, how they would do 2 pressers, one a week for Butch Jones. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they did 1 presser for Jeremy Pruitt and 1 for Phil Fulmer. Because quite literally, Fulmer is that much better with the media. Pruitt, like I said, exceptionally soft-spoken. And when we were at the Vol Caravan, it was Fulmer, the athletic director, had something to say. Pruitt did not. He did like my boots. I should probably put them up here on Facebook right now. Can we do that? Can we do that right now? I'm going to be like Rebecca Grant saying, who's your Cinderella? You never see these. These are my, right there. All right. Python boots right there. That's what I wear. And I told him the story of how that came about. Here it goes. Back in the day, I was a huge David Letterman fan as a kid. Some kids go home, they watch cartoons. Me, I had the VCR up. I taped Late Night with David Letterman and watched it when I came home from school. Okay? That's how big of a fan. All right, you remember how David Letterman used to dress. You have the suit with the sneakers. One day after the show, he goes out. It's Manhattan. Wants to go to a nice restaurant. They don't let him in because he's wearing sneakers with his shirt. Or with his suit, with his suit. And he tells that story, and he said, would you have let me in? And half the audience is, yeah, we would. And the other half is, no. And he's kind of surprised. Said, no, you wouldn't? Not like this? I mean, I can do my show on that? And what would you have me wear? And a fan from the audience just screams out, Python boots! I had to wear them after that. So Jeremy Pruitt likes Python boots. But I told him that story. Absolutely no reaction. Not even a chuckle. This man is soft-spoken. It's almost to the point where I wonder if he's alive. They just haven't told him otherwise yet. It's an old Pete Franklin line. He told it about Chuck Noll, okay? So Pruitt can have the success of Chuck Noll being a strong silent type, then I guess, then nobody's going to be complaining very much. I mean, it'd be 4 national championships, Anyway, but yeah, during the Vol Caravan, Fulmer was quoted far more than Pruitt. 80 had something to say, Coach did not. And this is all I'm asking. It's no secret that Fulmer carried resentment following his 2008 dismissal as the Vols football coach. So his current athletic director position at Tennessee is vindication. Only question is, with that vindication, will Fulmer be a mentor to Pruitt? Or could he actually be meddlesome? Hey, I'm Marky Billson. You like how this sounds right there? I am Marky Billson. Going to talk to Steve Spurrier at 1 over on the 1420 Facebook page. Going to come back in just a few minutes. We will be putting our advertisements on Facebook for our sponsors. In this break, it's Crabtree Buick in Tennessee. It's a great museum in Unicoi, Tennessee. Real, if you like Appalachian stuff, go to this place. And then we'll have a sports update, and then I'll come back. Oh, lots and lots of stuff. I was giving you some things about... I was giving you some things about the Vols. I'll give you some more. I'll even give you a take on the NBA versus the NHL when we come back on Tri-City Sports Now.